All right, so get ready because today we are diving deep into all of the reader reactions to The Housemaid is Watching, the third book in Freida McFadden's super popular The Housemaid thriller series.
Right.
So this is the one where we finally catch up with Millie and Enzo 11 years later.
Wow.
Married with kids.
Oh, wow.
Whole suburban life thing going on, but of course with a big old dose of Freida McFadden style twists and turns.
Of course, gotta have those.
Oh yeah, so we are gonna unpack why some readers are absolutely loving it and why others are saying enough is enough.
It's so interesting, right? Like, it's really fascinating how this book has just totally, like, polarized readers.
Yeah.
It seems like the people who were so into the first two books are either, like, completely on board with this, like, you know, continuation of Millie and Enzo's story.
Right.
Or they're like, these characters are just not doing it for me anymore.
I don't know, it's like you either love it or you hate it. There's no in between.
Not really, no.
So, like, a great example is Niloufer Osmekic's review.
Okay.
They were, like, totally gushing about this book.
Really?
Calling it even better than the second one.
Wow.
Which is a big statement.
It is.
And they were so drawn to the new setting.
All right.
Millie and Enzo's, like, fancy new house.
Oh, yeah.
And you guessed it, some pretty eccentric neighbors.
You can't not have those.
You can't have a Freida McFadden book without them.
I know.
Right.
It's like a staple.
It is. It's like part of the formula. So we've got...
So who are the neighbors this time?
Okay, so we've got Suzette, who seems to be a little too interested in Enzo for comfort.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's already a
A
little
little sus.
sus, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got Janice, the classic nosy neighbor.
Of course, gotta have one of those.
Always watching, always knows everybody's business.
Yeah.
Classic setup for some domestic suspense, you know?
Totally. Yeah, like you know something's gonna happen.
You just know, yeah. But here's where things get a little spicy. Yeah, a little interesting.
Interesting is a good word.
Because some readers who loved the first two books are now calling Millie and Enzo,
Don't tell me.
wait for it, moronic.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Moronic. That's harsh.
It is.
But I kind of get it.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, it's like they're making choices that just don't make sense for them.
Right. And it feels like they've regressed almost.
Yeah, like they haven't learned anything from the past.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, take Laura Loves Reading, for example.
Okay.
She really went in on Enzo
Oh no.
for not being upfront with Millie about a pretty major situation with the maid.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And then Millie's reaction to their son Nico's behavior,
Okay.
which Laura just thought was completely out of line.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And, you know, it makes you think about character development in these kinds of series. You know that whole, like, final girl trope?
Totally.
Where the protagonist is often, like, a little naive and vulnerable, but then they end up using that to outsmart the killer.
Right.
But I think a lot of readers want to see that naivete evolve over time, you know? Like, they want to see Millie learn from her past experiences,
Yeah.
not keep making the same mistakes.
Like, we get it. She's naive, but come on.
Exactly. Like, it's that feeling you get when you're watching a horror movie.
Oh.
And the character keeps making the same dumb decision.
You're like, don't go in there.
I know, and you're just, like, yelling at the screen,
Exactly.
but they can't hear you.
Sadly, no.
And so they just make the same dumb mistake.
It's so frustrating.
I know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the disconnect seems to be happening for some writers.
Yeah.
They loved Millie's vulnerability in the first two books, but now they want to see her grow a little bit. They want to see her, like, use her brain and make some smarter choices.
And not just, like, fall into the same traps.
Exactly. But instead, it's like they're saying she's making these choices that just feel...
Moronic.
Yeah.
Like we said.
Moronic.
Oof.
And it's not just Laura Loves Reading.
Oh?
Sabrina straight up said that Millie just watched
Oh, wow.
as things unfolded.
Really?
Like, she's lost that, like, proactive side, that resourceful side that we saw in the previous books.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, where'd that go?
Like, what happened? And,
Yeah.
you know, this also ties into the criticisms of Millie being too naive.
Oh, yeah.
Like, SK mentioned how she, like, jumps to conclusions about Enzo. And Desiree even said Millie has this inability to see obvious outcomes.
Oh, wow.
Like, she's just not picking up on the clues.
Right.
And so it's like some readers feel let down by her lack of growth.
They're like, come on, Millie, we know you can do better.
Yeah. It's like they're saying, okay, we get it. Millie's naive. But at some point, you gotta wise up a little bit.
Right.
You know? Like, come on.
It makes sense, though.
It does.
Like, you want your characters, even the ones who aren't perfect,
Yeah.
to be at least somewhat believable.
Right.
And in a thriller where it's all about suspense and being clever,
Yeah.
it can be so jarring
Right.
when a character just makes choices that seem completely out of sync with that.
Totally.
Yeah.
So it seems like Millie's character arc, or lack thereof, is a major sticking point for some readers.
Definitely.
But let's move on to another character who seems to be stirring up some strong feelings.
Okay, who is it?
Martha, the mysterious maid.
Ah.
Yeah, the enigmatic housekeeper.
Yeah.
Who seems to recognize Millie from somewhere.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right. Definitely a classic thriller trope.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But the question is, does she live up to the hype?
I don't know.
Well, that seems to be the million-dollar question. Laura loves reading,
Oh, yeah. Cool.
who we've established is not afraid to share her opinions.
Nope.
Found Martha's actions and motivations pretty underwhelming.
Really?
Yeah, and she specifically mentioned how Martha's decision to stay silent led to some pretty serious consequences for Enzo.
Oh, no.
That's not good.
Good. So it's like, in a good thriller, you know, the antagonist's actions,
Yeah,
even if they're bad,
yeah,
they still have to make sense of the story.
right.
Like, their motivations need to feel believable.
Yeah,
Otherwise, the whole plot just falls apart.
right. It's like, why would Martha do that?
Exactly.
You know, why would she put Enzo in such a difficult position? It
Right.
just didn't add up for some readers.
Yeah, I can see why they would be confused.
So we've got Millie maybe not being the sharpest tool in the shed,
Right.
and Martha's motivations being a bit murky.
Yeah.
Are you starting to see why some readers are calling this book a roller coaster of nothingness?
I mean, I can kind of see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
It does sound like there are some, like, valid criticisms there.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah,
there are always two sides to every story.
that's true.
Right.
So let's hear what the readers who love The Housemaid is Watching have to say.
Okay, let's do it.
Because after all, some people are living for these twists and turns.
I know, right?
So let's dive into that.
Okay.
Let's hear what they have to say.
I'm excited.
All right, so we just talked about some of the readers who weren't super thrilled with like Millie and Enzo's choices in this book.
Right.
And you know, Martha's kind of like shady motives.
Yeah.
But let's flip the script for a sec
Okay.
and talk about the readers who absolutely loved The Housemaid is Watching.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, Freida McFadden is known for those like crazy twists and turns.
Oh, yeah, she's the queen of twists.
And for some readers, this book like totally delivers on that.
Right, it's like, she knows exactly how to, like, hook you
Exactly.
and keep you guessing.
And you know there's a real art to crafting a good plot twist,
Oh,
especially in thrillers,
yeah.
because readers are always trying to like outsmart the author.
I know, I'm always, like, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, like who's the killer?
Right.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah, and, like, when you guess it right, it's like,
Oh, it's the best feeling.
yes.
But when you're wrong, it's like, oh man.
It's like, how did I not see that coming?
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it seems like McFadden managed to pull it off
she did.
for a lot of her readers.
She's good at what she does.
She is.
Yeah.
Like take Clay's, for example.
Okay.
They said they were completely blown away by the twists,
Really?
especially the epilogue.
Oh, wow.
They said it was totally unexpected.
I love when that happens.
I know, it's the best, right?
That aha moment where
Yeah.
everything just clicks into place,
Yeah.
but not in the way you thought it would.
Right. It's like you thought you knew what was going on, and
Yeah.
then bam,
Totally.
she hits you with that twist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like we mentioned before,
Not everyone felt the same way. Like, Yeah. hey, Matt and Tanya, they were not impressed.
oh no.
They found the twists predictable.
Yeah.
And Tanya actually called the book a roller coaster of nothingness.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Roller coaster of nothingness. That's rough.
It is.
Yeah.
And Tanya also mentioned that she felt like Freida McFadden milked the series dry.
Oh yeah. I've heard other people say that too.
Yeah.
It's like a common complaint with series.
Right.
You know, like how do you keep it fresh?
Yeah.
How do you give the fans what they want,
Right.
but also know when it's time to end it?
Exactly. It's like that feeling when you've had your favorite dessert
Oh yeah.
and it's so good.
It's
One
amazing.
too many bites.
And it ruins it.
And it ruins the whole thing.
It's the worst.
And it seems like some readers are feeling that way about this book.
I can
Like
tell
they
this.
still love Millie and Enzo.
Yeah.
But maybe they were hoping for like a more definitive ending.
Yeah. Like a real conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe the stakes weren't high enough this time.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Like we've already seen them escape some pretty crazy situations.
Oh, yeah, in the first 2 books.
In the first 2 books. Right?
They've been through a lot.
So maybe some readers were expecting something even more intense.
Right, like they needed to up the ante.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as the series goes on,
Yeah,
the reader's expectations naturally get higher.
of course.
They've already seen what the author can do.
Right.
So the bar is set pretty high.
It is, yeah.
And speaking of expectations,
Yeah.
pacing is another thing that seems to have divided readers.
Really?
Yeah, some people like Casey Reed's.
Okay.
Felt like the first half of the book was a little slow.
Oh, so it took a while to get going.
It did, yeah.
Hmm.
And pacing is so important in a thriller.
It is.
It's all about building that suspense,
Right.
keeping the reader on the edge of their seat,
Mm-hmm.
and then hitting them with those twists and turns.
Totally.
But when the pacing is off,
It can really throw the whole story off.
right, even if the plot is good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like waiting in line for a roller coaster.
Ooh, yeah.
You're so excited for the ride,
You're pumped.
but if the line's moving too slow,
Ugh, it's the worst.
you start to lose that excitement.
Yeah, you're like, let's go already.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So let's take a step back for a sec
okay.
and look at the overall reception of the book.
Oh, right.
So we've got some readers who are totally hooked.
Yeah,
They're loving the twists and turns.
Mm.
They want more Millie and Enzo.
right.
But then we have this whole other group
Yeah,
who feels like this series has run its course.
right. They're like, okay, we're done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're saying the twists are predictable.
Yeah.
Millie and Enzo are making weird choices.
Right. It's like they're not themselves.
And it just feels kind of like, been there, done that.
Yeah, like we've seen this before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to see how people react.
I know, it's fascinating.
It's like this book really tapped into some strong feelings.
It did for sure.
Both positive and negative. Like,
Yeah.
remember Spring, who said they wanted to read about Millie until she was 80?
Oh, yeah, I remember them.
Well, after reading this book, they're not so sure anymore.
Really?
Yeah, they're having second thoughts.
Wow, that's saying something.
It is. And then you have someone like Chantal who absolutely loved the book
Okay.
and wants another one.
So it's like total opposites.
It really is.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you how personal reading can be.
It really does.
What one person finds thrilling, another person might find boring.
Right.
And that's okay.
Exactly. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Everyone has different tastes.
So if you're on the fence about reading The Housemaid is Watching,
Mm-hmm.
it might help to think about what you're looking for in a thriller.
Right.
Are you looking for those like mind-blowing, unpredictable twists?
Yeah.
Or are you more invested in the characters and their journeys,
Right.
even if the plot feels a little familiar?
It's like choosing a restaurant.
Ooh, I like that.
You know?
Yeah.
Are you feeling adventurous?
Right?
Or do you just want your favorite comfort food?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So are you ready for a little more Freida McFadden magic?
Ooh. I am.
Even if it means maybe some frustrating character choices.
Yeah. I think I can handle it.
You know, it's funny. When I first started reading this book,
Yeah.
I was totally expecting Millie to be that classic final girl.
Right.
You know, making some bad decisions, but ultimately coming out on top.
Like we're used to seeing from her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But as I kept reading,
Yeah.
I started to wonder if maybe Freida McFadden was doing something different this time.
Ooh, interesting.
Like maybe she's playing with our expectations a little bit,
Right.
subverting that final girl trope
Yeah.
to keep us on our toes.
That would be a cool twist.
It would, right?
Yeah.
And that would explain why some readers are so conflicted
Totally.
about Millie in this book. Like, if McFadden is intentionally pushing those boundaries,
Right.
it would make sense that some people would love it
Yeah.
and some people would hate it.
Right. They'd be like, what is happening?
Exactly. Like, maybe she's trying to show us a different side of Millie, one that's more flawed and less predictable.
So maybe she's not the invincible heroine we thought she was.
Right. And that brings up a really interesting question.
What's that?
Can a flawed and naive protagonist still be compelling
Ooh,
in a thriller?
I don't know.
Especially in a genre where it's all about making smart choices to survive?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it really makes you think about what we want from like thriller protagonists.
Yeah.
Like, do we want them to be these perfect masterminds?
Right.
Always like 10 steps ahead.
Yeah, like they never make a mistake.
Never make a mistake.
Yeah.
Or is there something more interesting about a character who's like a little messy?
Right.
A little flawed?
Like a real person.
A real person
Yeah.
who makes mistakes.
Exactly, because like nobody's perfect in real life.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense that our fictional characters wouldn't be perfect either.
Yeah, and it's those imperfections.
Yeah.
Those moments where they're vulnerable
Right.
that I think can really make us connect with them
Yeah.
and root for them,
Yeah, totally.
even when they're like messing up big time.
Yeah, it makes them more human.
More human, exactly. And maybe that's why this book is getting such strong reactions.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, it's challenging what we think a thriller should be and who
Right.
the protagonist should be.
Yeah.
So if you're a fan of Freida McFadden
Mm-hmm.
and you're looking for a quick, entertaining read,
Yeah.
I'd say give The Housemaid is Watching a shot.
Sure.
Just be prepared for a different Millie than the one you might be used to.
She's not the same Millie anymore.
She's not, yeah.
Yeah.
She might not be making all the right choices,
Right. But
but isn't that what makes her so interesting?
I mean, yeah, maybe.
You know, keep things exciting.
It does.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe Freida McFadden has more up her sleeve.
Oh, yeah.
That ending definitely left things open
It did.
for more of Millie and Enzo's story.
It's like she's leaving us hanging.
She is.
Yeah.
And knowing her,
Oh, yeah.
there's going to be more twists and turns.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
She's not done with us yet.
It's funny because even with all the like mixed reactions
Yeah.
and like the debates online,
Right.
there's one thing everyone seems to agree on.
What's that?
This book is a total page turner.
Oh, yeah.
Love it or hate it,
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to put it down.
That's the sign of a good thriller.
It is.
Yeah.
Freida McFadden knows what she's doing.
She does. She's a master.
So there you have it.
Yeah.
Our deep dive into The Housemaid is Watching,
The book everyone's talking about.
the book that's going to keep you up all night.
Even if you're yelling at the characters.
Even if you are.
Yeah.
But as always, we
Yeah.
want to hear what you think.
Right.
Read the book.
Yeah.
See what you think.
Form your own opinions.
Then let's talk about it.
Exactly, because that's the best part.
It is.
Talking about books.
So until next time,
Mm.
happy reading.
Happy reading, everyone.